We're going to start with a standing warm-up. So if you're someone who struggles with your balance, have a chair or something nearby that you can hold on to when you need to. Okay, we're going to start with those knee circling things. So bend your knees, rest your hands on your knees. Check that you have the natural inward curve of your low back. If your hands have to be a little higher up on your thighs for that to happen, that's totally fine. And then you're going to be circling your knees forward and around. When you come forward, come as far forward as you can to get a stretch into the back of your calf, right down by your heel, your Achilles tendon. As you circle, allow your feet to move left and right with the left and right motion of the circle, while trying to keep your metatarsal heads down, the bases of your toes, base of big toe, base of baby toe in particular. Circle the other way. Keep reaching the knees forward. Allowing the movement of your feet, allowing a nice forward reaching of your knees. And stand up from there. Now you're just going to play with your toes, lifting your big toes only. And then putting them down and lifting your other toes, all 8 toes, and try and spread them out wide. Big toes. And then your other toes, lift and spread them wide. 2 more like that, big toes only. And then your other toes, spread them out wide. 1 more each way, lift your big toes and your other toes. And relax down. We're going to do the top of the foot stretch. Grab your chair or your support if you need it. You're going to rest the tops of your toes down on the ground. So you're stretching the front of the foot, the top of the foot, the front of the ankle. Nice lift through your spine when you're doing that. Make sure you haven't rolled off to the side, onto the baby toe side of your foot. You want to be centered on your big toe. And then release there. Other side. Holding onto your chair or other support as you need to. Top of the foot down, tops of the toes down. Nice lift through your spine, centered on your big toe, so you haven't rolled off to the side to escape the stretch. And then give your foot a little release. Now we're going to do a little standing pelvic clock. So bend your knees a little bit, and then you're going to roll your marble to 12, scooping your tummy and rotating your pubic bone up to your nose. And then roll your marble to 6, opening your sitting bones behind you. Feel how your sitting bones narrow as you roll to 12. Allow them to open as you roll to 6. Scoop your low abdominals in, marble to 12. Allow your sitting bones to open and allow your belly to spill a little bit forward to come to 6. 1 more, 12. And 6. And release from there. Now a little clockwise, counterclockwise. Bending one knee, your pelvis drops down on that side. Feel how your pelvis is unleveled and created an angle. And release. Other side, bend the knee, feel the pelvis drop down on the bending leg side. And release. Bend the knee. Now add on, same side arm comes up and you pull the ribs up while the pelvis drops down. And release. Bend the knee, arm comes up, same side arm, pull the ribs up. And release. 1 more to each side. Bend your knee. Arm comes up, pull the rib cage up. 1 more, knee bend, arm lift, and pull the ribs up as the pelvis drops down. Cross your arms over your chest, and we'll go 3 and 9. Your pelvis twists one way, and then the other. Allow your feet to roll with this movement while trying to keep your metatarsal heads down on the ground. If you feel your shoulders swinging the opposite direction a little bit as you rotate, totally fine. Allow them to do that. Just 1 more to each side. And then back to the center. Now we're going to stretch out the front of the hip and thigh. If you need to hold onto your chair, do so. You're going to step 1 foot back, the other foot forward. Bend that front knee. Back heel comes off a little bit. Ribs in. Lightly tilt your pubic bone up, keeping your knee straight so you get a stretch in the front of your hip. Release. So marble to 12 and release. Marble to 12 and release. 1 more marble to 12 and release. And again, holding on if you need to. Grab your foot, knees together, ribs in, tilt your pubic bone up. Still a nice lift through your spine. Get a stretch in the front of the thigh. And then let's do those on the other side. So the One foot forward, the other foot back. Make sure you've changed legs. Bend your front knee, back heel comes off a little bit. Ribs in, tilt your marble to 12, get the stretch in the front of the hip, and then release. Marble to 12, and release. Keep that back knee straight as you go to 12. Try not to let the knee bend. That will take you out of the stretch. One more, and release. Hold on to your chair again if you need to. Grab your foot, knees together, ribs in, tilt your boot bone up. Get a stretch in the front of the thigh. Still a nice lift through the rest of your spine. And release. Give your legs a little shake. Feet lined up straight under your front hip bones. Nice lift. Turn your head, look over one shoulder and then the other. One more to each side like that. And then put your hands on your shoulders, circling one elbow back, then the other. Turning your head to look at your elbow as you go, adding a twist. Allow the twist to come all the way down to your feet, still with your metatarsal head staying down on the ground. One more to each side, and back to the center. Now, bend your knees a little bit, marble to 12, round your whole spine, turning the backs of your hands towards each other, nodding your chin. It's like you're doing a little standing cat. And then go the other way. Straighten your knees, roll your thumbs backwards, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades, and arch your back. Soften your knees as you round, scoop your tummy in, backs of hands towards each other, chin nodded in. Straighten your legs, lift your breastbone, squeeze your shoulder blades, arch your back. One more each way, rounding, backs of hands reach towards each other. Roll your thumbs backwards, try and reach your thumbs towards each other as you arch. And a little release. We'll just finish off with a little hip hinge. So again, nice and tall. Oh no, I forgot our arm. I knew there was something else forgetting. So nice and tall again. Reach your arms out to the side. Roll one thumb down, the other thumb back, and allow that to create a twist right through your shoulders, into your shoulder blade, into your spine. And then the other way. So it's not that your spine will twist. Your spine will do a little side bend perhaps in response to the twist. So one thumb rolls down, the other thumb rolls up, and then you keep rotating them in those directions and allow the twist to work its way up through to your shoulder blade and into your spine. One more to each side. And release. Now the hip hinges. So feet lined up straight under your front hip bones, hands in the crease of your hip. Nice lift in your spine. Keep the same shape at your spine. Lift your sitting bones. Just move at the pelvis to hinge forward like a bow and bring yourself up. Hinge. Only go as far as your pelvis is moving on your thigh bones. Don't let your back round. If you're not sure if your back is rounding, you could put your hand in your low back and just monitor that the curve stays the same. One more. Stay there. Feel your good stretch. And release.